Hey guys, this is gonna be another Genshin Impact video on Chongyun. Now, today I'll be answering a couple questions given by the community regarding different aspects of Chongyun, different playstyles, and different team compositions. So the first question I got was, I'm currently running Gladiator's 4-piece with Prototype Aminus. What's the best I can do for the artifact main stats? So generally, most main DPS carries attack percent on their sands, elemental bonus damage or a cryo cup on their goblet, and crit rate or crit damage on their circlet. So yeah, many researchers have shown that this is generally the rule, and you want to run 1:2 ratio for crit rate to crit damage. In addition, we should also focus on this because over time, attack percent becomes a trap and falls off after around 70 to 90%. Secondly, for talent priorities, you want to prioritize your basic attack talent first in terms of the weekly drops from the bosses. So because that's where most of your damage is going to be coming from, and then afterwards, depending on your energy recharge, you want to focus on your elemental skill or elemental burst. If you have high energy recharge, you want to invest in your elemental burst. While if you don't, you generally want to go elemental skill because you can have around 2 elemental skills for 1 elemental burst. As for questions in Abyss, I can only really give you suggestions in an overworld scenario for both teams and in terms of synergies. So, the person here stated that they have Kutsing, Xingqiu, Venti, and they have all the healers in the game except Jean. Now, for your team B, you were questioning what other people you could run with Chongyun. Now, you could run Chongyun as a melt comp since you don't really have Xingqiu here, as Xingqiu enables him to do a shatter comp. So generally, you want to run Chongyun, Bennett, Xiangling, and Diona or Barbara. The reason why you want to run melt here is because, let's say for example, Xiangling's E. Xiangling's E applies a very strong or high elemental gauge on Pyro. So it has very strong Pyro. Now when you apply Cryo on it, in Melt and Vaporize, their elemental gauge goes down by 1 level. This makes it so that once you apply the first reaction of Chongyun Melt to Xiangling's E on that target, they will essentially have a remaining Pyro aura on them. And so then after the ICD of applying Cryo, you can basically melt twice from 1 flamethrower of Goba's breath. So this is why Chongyun melt comp is viable, because although you cannot melt with a 200% multiplier, you can melt twice with a 150% multiplier, given that the application is a strong and as a strong gauge. Now, Bennett's E also is considered strong when you tap it once. You don't really need to hold it, so that's why Chongyun as a melt main DPS could also work. Now the next question is main DPS Chongyun for freeze versus Diluc subcarry or enabler. So a melt comp has more damage when Pyro hits Cryo, so Diluc subcarry wins in this case because you don't really lack the Cryo application with Chongyun's E, and you still get the best of both worlds when Diluc applies the 200% multiplier in that case. However, not everyone has a Diluc, and a Chongyun as a main DPS has freeze, which melt doesn't really have, so it's like a CC. Next up, artifact sets for Chongyun subcarry. So you most of the time want to run Noblesse Oblige on Chongyun subcarry. So Noblesse Oblige 2-piece gives elemental burst damage by 20%, and the 4-piece increases all party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds, and this effect cannot stack. So in this case, Chongyun would be a burst spammer. You want to run an energy recharge weapon, Favonius, or Sacrificial Greatsword, Skyward Sprite are great options in this case. And your goal is to spam ultimates off cooldown and give your carry or Diluc 20% attack boost. So this playstyle is similar to that of Child, but in the terms of being like a Elemental Burst spammer at CU0, but the difference is Child is the one who's proccing the reaction, unlike Chongyun. Next question, we have, should you run Superconduct on Chongyun? Now, generally, no, because physical damage turns into cryo damage in his elemental skill, Cryo Field area. Now, you won't get the benefit from basic attacks. However, if your argument is that it increases shatter damage, you're better off running a Nemo support to boost your cryo damage basic attacks and also hit elemental skills and bursts, as numbers have shown that you can get more damage overall from your cryo attacks than, say, an elemental reaction such as Shattered. Now, another question. What factors contribute to Shattered damage? So, the factors that contribute to Chongyun's Shattered damage would be Chongyun's level, elemental mastery, and enemy's resistance. Now, the question is EM versus attack on the Sands. The Sands is the third slot in the artifact. So, dependent on your team and your playstyle, there is no like definite answer. However, it is more safe to run attack rather than elemental mastery, as elemental mastery is reliant on reactions. So, I'll be covering this in a future video, and there are some exceptions where elemental mastery may be better. And so, generally, yeah. So, that covers most of the questions that have been sent to me through Discord and through Reddit. Now, I strongly urge you guys to like and subscribe, as I will be putting out more responses and guides like these in the future. Also, please join our Chongyun Mains Discord, where you can message me there regarding different research requests, and also join our Chongyun r/popsicle mains in our subreddit. So yeah, thank you for listening.